Good evening, folks. As you can see, I got a whole bunch of boxes here. These are the toppers for my galvanized beds. It has a nice covering. Um, I will say this: I have never had a problem with Quintessent. They are a very good company. I know it's a China company, but I've never had a problem with this company. They've always had absolutely awesome customer service. So, and their products, I've have two of their smaller raised beds with the greenhouse topper already. And these here are just the greenhouse toppers. And they're going to go out on my King's Kingsbird. Yeah, Kingbird. The Kingbird raised beds. These look really awesome. They are holding really good. I will say that when you put them together, when you go around the corner and you wrap the metal on the corner, you might want to screw like a screw there, but they do provide you with those. In order to get these to fit, I have to add about this much length to the bed. So what I'm going to do is I bought the wood today to build like a little wood topper to go around it. And awesome company. Anyway, the reason I'm making the video, yes, I'm excited about this, obviously, because I've been waiting for this all week. I've got the compost out there to fill the two beds. I've got the other bed that I've got the hobo shack out in my backyard. And for those who don't know, let me just walk back here, and I'm going to show you. I know it's getting dark, and the dog has been in and out. Look at this. It's been raining. This is the hobo shack right there, and I built that to save my lemon and lime trees, and that's going to go down this weekend, and we're going to get a couple more of these Kingbirds galvanized beds. As you can see, I've got one of the frames from that greenhouse set up out there, and I don't know if you can tell, but right there is a piece of wood, and I found that I had to have a piece of wood about this much longer, about 2 inches. Anyway, I gotta mop that floor here in just a second. But anyway, you gotta love it when it's rainy out. I wanted to get on because I got off work, and when I got off work, I went and I bought my lumber and had to let the chickens out and got busy doing things. And while I was at work today, normally I watch YouTube during the day, and I listen to it as I'm driving from customer to customer. I drive an 18-wheeler. And I normally stay abreast of everything going on. But today, I literally kind of took the last couple of days off from listening to YouTube, just because I needed a break. So I turned on YouTube this evening as I sit down in my little easy chair and put my feet up, and I hear about Silicon Valley Bank going under. Now, everybody's talking about, oh, it's a bank run, it's a bank run, it's a bank run. I want y'all to look a little bit harder than that, okay? For some of you who don't know, Silicon Valley Bank I'm sorry, I'm kind of shivering because I've been outside and I forgot my coat. So I'm still a little bit shivering. But anyway, Silicon Valley Bank used to be one of the high rollers. So they were the ones that Wells Fargo and Chase went to, when the banks negotiate funds, okay? Like one bank will sell stocks or something to another bank or loans to another bank. And so Chase and Wells Fargo and Bank of America, they all went to Silicon Valley Bank. So this is going to affect, I think, probably within the next week or two, we will see some kind of effect, I think, in all of our banking systems. I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying this that until this gets straightened out with the FDIC, which it could take up to 6 months, okay? When the FDIC comes in and they close the bank and they seize the bank assets, if you are a customer at that bank, your money and your stocks in that bank are seized. So it could take you 6 months to get that money back, right? So I think we're going to have probably a bunch of news stories about this, and we're probably going to have some kind of credit increase, maybe, or something to deal with the banking. My whole point is this. Do I think you should go out and take all your money out of the bank? No. That would definitely collapse our economy right now. But I think that you should have at least a week's worth of money to carry you through in case this does affect the rest of the banking system. I'm not rich. I pretty much live just like everybody else around me, paycheck to paycheck, okay? I have small savings. I don't have a lot. But, I'm working on improving what I can. And the only reason I got all this, just so you know, before anybody ever says, well, you just bought all this stuff. Of course I just bought all this stuff because I paid into taxes and I got my federal tax return. Okay, so I did my taxes, and this is what I do with my federal tax return is I improve my property. So, yeah, okay. Do I pay extra during the year in federal taxes? Yes, I do. I use it as a savings account. For those of you who are curious, I pay more than what I am required to pay on every paycheck. Okay? Some of you might think that's stupid. I tend to think of it as, okay, I paid extra in case the federal tax increases or at the end of the year, I can get a good little chunk of change back. It's just kind of like my safety deposit box, okay? But that's how I paid for all this, okay? And I'm tapped out at this point. I mean, I can't put any more money to buying anything else, So where I did all that sand and gravel mix under the overhang of my shed, I'm probably going to have to figure out how to make a mold for concrete and just do it that way, or more than likely I'm just probably going to lay ceramic tile down for now and just save to get pavers to put in there, because I think pavers would be more durable. But I think if I lay the ceramic tile down, I think that will work for now. I mean, it's not going to be perfect, but it'll work for now, right? So that I'm not totally digging furrows in the sand gravel mix. But I don't want people to freak out about, the banks, okay? Yes, you should do your due diligence for you and yours, but don't freak out about it, okay? If you've been listening to anybody with any intelligence on YouTube over the last year, you already know, and you've probably already been stacking copper, silver, gold, coins, and even fiat currency. Now, I say fiat currency because the paper money is worthless, okay? It's fiat, right? There's at least intrinsic value in coins, okay? You have at least the metal value in the coin, whether it be silver, gold, copper, platinum, whatever, okay? So you've already been doing that if you've been listening to prepper channels over the last year. So only thing I'm telling you is, hey, it looks like maybe we're at that time frame now where we need to be aware of the situation. And if we have extra cash in the banks, maybe you might want to move that into gold and silver and copper and platinum. Maybe you might want to go and get extra food and extra sodas and extra pet food and, extra medications, because there are reports that several medications are not available now, and doctors are having to scramble to come up with medications that will serve those patients. Specifically, certain types of anti-seizure, certain types of ADHD medications, certain types of medications for, like if you get stung by a bee. Those, like EpiPens, those are becoming harder and harder to come by. And so if you do need these, because I'm allergic to bees, okay? So if you do need these, you need to go ahead and try and get what you can get, okay? No guarantee that it will be there later on down the road. There's no guarantee. And I hate to be doom and gloom about this, but I think everybody needs to be aware of what is happening instead of sitting with blinders on, like certain individuals actually kind of told me today that, well, if it's not in my little circle, I'm not worried about it. Well, if you want to live that way, that's fine. I personally, I want to know what's going on. I want to be aware of what's going on, but I want to be aware in such a way that I'm not freaking out about it, right? I will say this: if you have a whole bunch of money in the bank, I feel very sorry for you, because you were likely to lose that now. And that safety net is not going to be there. So I know that sounds bad. I know that sounds doom and gloom. But your safety net, you need to be building that around you like I have been with gardens and with chickens. I mean, I can't, I only have a little piece of property here. I don't have a whole bunch, and I owe out the butt for my little piece of property. But any way that you can supplement your income now, whether it be with food or a second income or alternative power like wind or solar, water. Okay, you can have a water wheel and you can produce power from that. I would highly recommend that you look at this, okay, because if you look through history, what we're going through right now, if you look at history and you look at the fall of the Roman Empire, the similarities are mind-boggling. And I want everyone to make it through this without losing their lives or losing their loved ones' lives or taking their own life. There's a way to survive this. You have to be honest with yourself of where you stand and go from there. This is a sign with a major bank like this collapsing. That's a sign that the economy of that country is about to change. A lot of times what they do is they reevaluate the currency and then they come out with something else. And then the old currency, remember what I told you, the paper money, is really worth nothing at that point. A good example is if you look at some of the African countries that have already done that in the last 20 years. When they reevaluated the money, you know, these people, they had $1 million of their government currency, and it couldn't even buy a piece of bread. So I want you to be aware of that, and I want you to think about that and only have enough money in the bank to cover your basic expenses. All the other money, you need to be taking that and putting it into assets, honey. Okay? I'm just telling you true. Putting your money in the stock market is not a good deal right now. 401ks, they are shutting down certain 401ks so that you cannot pull your money out of those, even with a hardship clause. So that's not a good deal right now. We already know that Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, food stamps have all been cut, and they're already talking about changing Social Security to the age for it, moving it up to 75 to 80 years old to retire. Crazy. So what I'm telling you, I'm sure you already know. I'm just bringing it down to your level, because a lot of these YouTubers that are out here, they talk at a high level and they're not down here with the normal people. Okay, and it's nothing against them. They've been doing YouTube for so long that they have forgotten how to actually converse with normal people who, if they're lucky, they get $200, $300 a week to live off of, and just one paycheck disruption can really hurt. So I call that normal, because for me that's normal people. Anybody who makes more than that is kind of high up to me. They're middle class, you know. I'm down here with the poor folk. Uh, you know, us poor folk, we know how to take spam and ramen and make 50 different meals out of it, right? So I want everyone to calm down. I don't want them going out and doing a massive bank run. But if you can, start moving your assets out of the bank and start putting them into physical assets that you can put your hands on. Whether it be garden space, whether it be a house, land, silver, gold, platinum, copper, coins, okay, any kind of coins, because even coins that are not silver or gold, they have intrinsic value just in the metal that's in them. So we need to do that, folks. And I know I'm rambling. I'm astounded, okay? I am really, right at the moment, I am really astounded. Because if you had told me Wells Fargo had collapsed, I would have been like, oh yeah, I saw that coming. I did not see Silicon Valley Bank collapsing. That's astounding to me, okay? Just absolutely astounding. Now, for everybody who's in these areas that we're having all the trains derail, my heart bleeds for you. I don't know what to tell you to do, you know, and if I was you and train had derailed with toxic chemicals, specifically like up in East Palestine, Ohio, I would get the fuck out, right? I would get the fuck out. Nothing that you have there is worth your life. Nothing that you have there is worth your children's lives, is worth your pets' lives. None of it. It's all replaceable. Your life is not replaceable. That's a reality. And I don't know what to tell you to do beyond that. And I can't tell you where to go. I can't tell you how to go. But I would get the fuck out. For my own life's sake and for my pet's lives' sake. So, I've rambled on here for about 25 minutes. Do the things, folks. And know that I am praying for this country. I am praying for the world. I am praying for everyone all over the world, especially those who are in war-torn areas. I am praying for you. But, like most people will say, there's nothing I can do. All I can do is pray for you and leave it with the Father. And so I'm going to leave you with that. I leave you in the Father's hands. And pay attention to what's going on around you. Don't bow your head and stay in your little bubble so that you're not aware of when someone comes up with a needle and pops the bubble. And so with that, I'm going to leave y'all. Y'all have a blessed weekend. I've got a lot I've got to do this weekend, obviously. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you, folks. be aware of what's going on. Much love. Bicycle.